Hey there, this is Mr. Eric Little, Smyrna High School Spanish 1, and I am making this video today to talk to you about why you might consider taking Spanish 2 dual enrollment here at Smyrna next year. We have the counselor's office is sending out notice soon that you all will be registering for the next year, and I want you to understand why you should take Spanish dual enrollment, if you should, and what benefits it could have for you. I have some on the board, and I'll talk about some others as well. But let's talk about what it is. This is also for parents as well, so that you understand what we're discussing here. So there is an arrangement with Bethel University that students at Smyrna High School can enroll in dual enrollment courses, which means at the end of the course they will receive a certain number of credit hours that can be used in many institutions of higher education. You're talking most of your state level schools, some private schools, they decide based on their own requirements. But for example, sort of the gold standard that I use is whether or not MTSU will accept it. MTSU is in consortium with many universities around the country. They sort of streamline and have their curriculum set. They know what they're looking for in terms of general education requirements. This dual enrollment Spanish 2 at Smyrna provides Spanish 1010 and 1020 credit at MTSU and all other state schools that use the same coding and community colleges as well. And so that is 6 credit hours worth of Spanish in just 1 year. For most of these students, their junior year. I think for some it may be senior or sophomore. However, there are funds available at the school. Students are allowed to enroll in a certain number of those credit hours before parents are paying out of pocket. Please consult with guidance to learn more about that specifically. I am a Spanish teacher, not a guidance counselor. However, I do want you to live your best life, and I do want you to know the opportunities you have here. So let's discuss who should look into dual enrollment, because it's not for everybody. It is for some of you. My rule of thumb is, with all the considerations, that if you are maybe or certainly college bound, you should consider dual enrollment. Some of you haven't decided yet if college is for you. And some of you know college is for you. It's just the kind of environment that you're looking for. Those are the students I'm talking to. If you know that for you, your right and best life is going into the military, or going to a technical college, or perhaps working immediately after high school and figuring things out, dual enrollment may not be your best life. You might enroll in Spanish 2, traditional. That's okay too. We're not shaming that. But for many of you, this is your best life. So if you might be going to college, or definitely so, then you gotta look at your GPA. We're gonna require you to have a 3.0 GPA to take dual enrollment classes. So if you've not been sticking to the studying and you've fallen kind of behind, then this semester especially, we need you to get those grades up so that you may enroll in this class and other dual enrollment courses. Finally, you have to have your Spanish teacher's recommendation. So for those of you in Spanish 1 this year, that would be Ms. Lopez or I. We have to recommend that you take dual enrollment. So maybe you have great grades in other classes, but Spanish is just an area that we're not sure that for whatever reason is going to work for you. We have already sent that information to guidance. So why would you take it? Well, what's the difference anyway? Spanish 2 dual enrollment is accelerated. It's more in depth. It's more difficult. That's great because you learn more. Why wouldn't you want to learn more in this life? The more you learn, the more you can do. Some of you avoid that like the plague, but I guarantee you it's a positive thing. Let's look at the other benefits aside from the obvious, I get a better education. First off, you might need Spanish in college. Not everybody in college needs Spanish or foreign language credit, but many do. Most of your liberal arts majors are going to require at least 1 year of a foreign language credit. And this dual enrollment would be 1 full year worth of college credit, 2 semesters or 6 credit hours. The majority of college level courses are going to be 3 credit hours, and so Spanish 1010 and 1020 are no exception. And so the students would be taking 6 credit hours total over the course of the year here at Smyrna High School. If you need Spanish in your life, maybe you want to go take Spanish and be a Spanish major and be a teacher or a translator or whatever, like myself. You obviously are going to take this class because you know that's what you want to do. But if you're going to be an English major, you have to have a foreign language. You have to have 3 years of it. You're going to need it. The only thing worse than having to take Spanish in high school is having to take it in college and paying $800 for it. Here, you get a certain number of credit hours that are already paid for you, and they're discounted past that. Again, talk to your guidance counselor. But in college, you could be doing more fun things when you have more freedom, and you have more freedom of classwork, and you have more time with more people, and to do more activities, and a part-time job, and all those problems that are associated with being 20 years old compared to 16. The last thing you want to be doing is sitting in a class you could have done 4 or 5 years ago. Trust me. 2, everybody needs elective credit in college. Doesn't matter if your major couldn't be further from Spanish. Maybe you want to do software engineering, which benefits very little from a foreign language. Because, let's be honest, C++ is a language of its own. You might be studying something like interior design that just doesn't have a whole lot to do with language. Sure, language can benefit you because you have clients, but honestly, it's not a major consideration. For anyone working in fields that are not people-driven, foreign language is less important and usually not required. But you got to have 120 credit hours to graduate as an undergraduate, which means you have to take 5 3-hour courses every semester and fail none of them, and get the exact ones in the exact order in order to graduate in 4 years. But what you don't realize is usually for most majors and most programs, not all of them, but most of them, you have 30 or 40 credit hours that you can pick and do whatever you want from. You can keep sitting in college that 4th year taking a bunch of stuff you don't need and paying for it, or you can have a bank of credit hours already when you walk in the door, and you don't have to pay that money, don't have to sit in those classes, and you can even graduate early. Because the Spanish course that we're offering, these 6 hours, will count towards your elective hours, no matter what you study in any 4-year institution that accepts them, which almost all of them will take it. There's another consideration though. When you're at MTSU or Motlow or whatever, Tennessee State University, wherever you go, you're going to register in certain order and priority. The seniors register before the sophomores, right? And it's done by credit hour. Some of you can get enough credits in high school that you'll be sophomores walking in. I don't know about you, but MTSU is big, right? They offer like 20 sections of Spanish, 1010, or math 1010, or English, or whatever. Some of those sections are at nice times of day that go along with your life schedule. Maybe Tuesday, Thursday at 1 o'clock is a good time for you to take class. Or maybe you want the early morning Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 a.m. You probably don't. Some of you are early birds, but for the most part, you would rather have a schedule that lets you sleep a little bit more. Or maybe a schedule that lets you work your part-time job a little bit more easily, gives you more time with the social organizations you're going to be involved with. But if you have no credit hours when you go into MTSU or wherever else it is, you're registering last, and you're getting the bottom pick of all your classes. The more credit hours you have, the more favorable and more advanced you get to register for classes. It's a big deal in college. I can't stress that enough. Other opportunities open up as well. So you've got to realize that just like in high school, you don't take English 3 until you pass English 2, right? Well, in college, they won't let you in English 3 until you have passed English 2. And They don't care if you fail it 8 times because you're paying for it. No Child Left Behind is not an issue in college. They will fail you every time. When you have certain class credits, you open doors to other opportunities. For example, studying abroad. Many study abroad opportunities are available only to sophomores and higher. But if you have enough credit hours in high school, that could be open maybe your freshman year, the summer after your freshman year. Sometimes they'll require that you have a little bit of experience in a language in order to learn a little bit more. What could be more fun than learning in your second or third year of Spanish in Costa Rica? But you had to have a couple years. Not to worry, you already have it walking in. You say, well, I'm not going to study Spanish. I'm going to study biology. Okay. Costa Rica, they learn biology too. More opportunities open for you, the more skills you bring to the table. The more well-rounded you are, the more credits you have. Not to mention, some classes are just unavailable unless you have certain prerequisites. And so, taking this class will open doors you may not even be aware of as you move forward. Finally, there's some other considerations too. First off, you'll have Ms. Lopez. She's awesome. So why wouldn't you want that? You guarantee, because she is our dual enrollment instructor at this school. At least next year for sure. You definitely would have it. Other things is, you'd have a sense of, maybe it would give you a greater sense of purpose in school, because you know you're getting something on paper, credits for your future. It's not wasted time. You're in college. Wait, you would be in college already in high school. That leads me to my next point. It's going to prepare you better for college. I can't tell you how many friends I have had over the years, since I was 18, that started college and they drop out. They start again, drop out again. They didn't, for whatever reason, they didn't have the study skills. They didn't have the drive. They didn't understand what was expected. They didn't have the organization. They didn't know. College was a whole new world. For many of you, you're the first generation to go to college in your family. I know I was. You'll get a taste of it before you walk in. It won't be as scary because you'll have already seen a professor in your high school. It'll be Professor Lopez. So when you do go to college, it's not going to be as big of a shock. You're still going to get all that freedom and all that fun stuff and cool stuff and be with friends and all this stuff, jazz, but you won't feel overwhelmed. It won't be such a big step. Parents, this is really important because you send your kid away to college, or even they start down the road. That's a whole different world, socially, financially. Why does it need to be such a big jump academically? Why don't you start that now? And then when you go to college and you get handed a syllabus and a textbook list and these are your expectations, it's going to be old. It'll be easy. So, those are some of the reasons that you should consider taking dual enrollment, Spanish 2. Again, for those students who might be or are certainly college bound, it does not matter what you're studying. It's all the more important if you're doing anything in the liberal arts, music, history, English, any social science. It's all the more important if you want in the future to work with people as your primary profession, like your primary occupation. For example, as a doctor seeing patients, a lawyer seeing clients. All of those fields that work directly with the public benefit greatly with Spanish. But even those of you who are not working with people in your future career, there's still a great argument. Do it now, and you'll reap the rewards. I hope that's helpful. Please write Ms. Lopez or I with any questions. Also, your guidance counselor assigned to you can answer many questions. Leave no question unanswered. Please reach out. We want to help. See ya.